Hello, we're going to do repeating decimals today. It's not fun because they repeat all over the place and they never seem to end, just like this. Isn't this annoying? Yeah, okay. All right, let's get serious here. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is I'll give you a problem. Let's have 41, that's a whole number, and let's divide that by 2 2/10. Not a big deal. Okay, so basically I'm going to estimate this. If I estimate this, I know my answer is going to be about 20 because 2 goes into 41 20 times. 2 times 20 is 40. So about 20 or maybe less. I think it's less. Okay? I think it's less. All right, let's get rid of that. And just write, I'm going to write my 20 up top here with a question mark. Okay. We all know that division is one big fraction bar, really. We don't need this, and we don't need this. But I could put the 41 here and the 2.2 here. Okay? That's one way to look at it. But let's do it with the division box. Get rid of him. Okay, here we go. Now you have to remember that this is the divisor. Now the divisor goes on the outside. So he's going to go right here. And our 41 is our dividend. And he's going to go right here. Now if you notice, I have a decimal here, but there's not one on the 41. Well, I had a teacher one time says it's like a sentence. The period goes at the end. So that's still 41. Unfortunately, it's not true what they say about dividing decimals. You never divide decimals. You divide by the whole numbers. So what I have to do is basically multiply this by 10 and this whole thing by 10. So what am I talking about? All I'm talking about, kids, is moving the decimal point to the end. But if you do it in the divisor, you have to do it in the dividend. So here we go. I got to move them one place here. I move this one place. Notice, looks like a holder for something. It sure is. It's a holder for a 0. And now I'm going to add just a couple zeros just for the heck of it, because I can. Now that is totally messy, and I don't like that. So I tell my students, well, once you do that, rewrite it so it looks nice. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. And here it goes. 22. My division bar. Let's put 41. There's my 0. I got to line it up. I forgot to tell you to line it up. That's one thing that you have to do. So here he is. Here he is. I'm going to add a couple zeros. Now, I'm telling you right now, it's going to repeat itself. But there is a trick to finding where the repeat is. It's not the easiest trick, but I will show it to you. Okay, let me extend my page. It's not working. There it goes. Okay, very good. That looks good enough. Okay, here we go. I know I'm going to have an answer in the 10 and the 1s, and maybe down the line with the decimals. Of course I have, because the title is called Repeating Decimals. Okay, not a hard one. 22 times 1 is 22. That's the only thing I can use first. When I subtract, remember, I got to rename it. So 11 minus 2 is 9, and 3 minus 2 is 1. There's my 19. I bring my first 0 down. Yay! I got 190. Okay, so 22 goes into 190. Well, 22 times 9 would be a little bit too much, so I have to use 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16 plus the 1 is 17. Let's subtract. From here, my 19 becomes an 18. And the 0 becomes a 10. So that's going to be a 4. This is going to be a 1. And I'm going to bring down my 0. All right. I don't see any pattern yet about repeating, so let's continue. Okay, so 22 into 140. Let's see. How about 7 would be too much, so I gotta use 6. 6 times 22. Luckily, I have 2. That's a pretty easy number to multiply by or divide. So this would be a 12, and this would be a 13 here. Okay, let's see if we have a pattern yet. Subtract, I get an 8 here. This becomes 13, and I get an 8. Huh, how about that? No pattern yet. Let's bring down another 0. You know, it's not hard, but it's long. That's the problem. Okay, so 22 goes into 80. Well, 22 times 4 would be perfect, but no, it's not. So we have to use 3. And 3 times 22 is 66. That's an easy one. I'm going to extend my page a little bit, kids. I'll bring it down, don't worry. Okay, right there. I'm going to see the repeat pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to subtract this guy. So this would be a 4, and this would be a 1. And now I'm going to bring down my last 0. I hope it's my last one. And I'm seeing a pattern. I see a 140 here, and I see a 140 here. Now that tells me it's going to repeat itself. But first, let me put my 6 back up there. So basically, this guy here is the 140, and this guy here is the 140. And that's that magic 6, this magic 6. So what is going to repeat is everything there. Now, if you want to, get a calculator and check it out. But trust me, that's what's going to happen. Okay. And that's it for today.